There was definitely a lot of snakes. There was definitely like a ton of spiders. I remember there was this one area where there were spiders that were just like the size of a dinner plate. And they lived in these people's houses. Like, there were these huge, okay, a smaller dinner plate, but it's like a good, like, that big. And the people would like catch flies or like, see insects, and they would catch them and like throw them into the web for these spiders. Like, they like had them as pets. So that was weird. That was kind of crazy. Huge spiders. There were tons of bats, tons of lizards. I mean, I remember a lizard that was like that big that was just in my house one night when we got home, and it was in like a coastal kind of region. Every once in a while you'd see like a sort of like, they had, I don't even know what the translation is in English, but it's taquasin. It's like a kind of like a coyote fox kind of thing. And they had those, so those were like around. But they didn't have like big animals like bears or anything. I saw like one deer on my mission, just like one time in the middle of the night. And there's a ton of dogs. There's dogs everywhere. And they have like a few cats, but mostly dogs, because like they're just stray. And so then, they like mate, and there's tons more dogs. And they're all just like super malnourished. You can see their ribs, and people like kick them and throw rocks at them. And so they're just like all kind of afraid of people. So that was kind of weird. There's just dogs everywhere. But there were a ton of mice. And like rats. There was a rat in my house once that we killed because it would like eat our stuff. And one night we were sitting there taking numbers at night, and we hear something like on the fridge, and I'm like, that's the rat. So we run over and hit the fridge, and we hear it jump off, and it starts like scurrying away. So my companion grabs a broom, and he like hits it back towards me, and I grab a broom, and we just like killed it with brooms. It was crazy. The broom splittered it into like 3 pieces, and it was just crazy. And like, we weren't being like cruel or anything, but like, the rats can carry diseases and fleas and stuff, so we were just like trying to get it, because it would get into our house if like we didn't kill it, because they can climb, like go under the doors, the metal doors. There's not like a lot of weather stripping or like airtight sealed kind of stuff down in El Salvador. So yeah, that happened in multiple houses where there were rats or mice, and you'd have to like kill them. One kind of gross story is one time we remember in my house, it was just like the grossest smell. I was like, I've taken out the trash, like it must be the neighbors. I was like searching through everywhere, but it smelled like rotting. So after like 3 weeks of that, we finally find underneath, they've got these things called pilas in El Salvador that are like concrete boxes of water, and then on each side it's got like a wash basin where you can do your dishes or your laundry. And well, on one of the sides we had like a dish holder for like dishes so they could dry, and for like silverware, but it kind of like filled up the whole thing, and it was like flush with the back and with the sides. And I remember I was like looking at it, and I saw like a little thing like coming up out of the back, and I picked it up, and there was a rotting, like maggot infested mouse, and it had been under our dishes the whole time. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I like called my companion. He comes over and he's just like he was gonna throw up, and it was the grossest experience. Oh, it was so gross. But got that cleaned up. So there's like tons of mice, ants everywhere. If you ever left like your cereal out, there were like there's these tiny little like clear ants, and they just like form these lines, and they all follow in the same line. So sometimes it's kind of fun to like run your finger through the line, and then they'd like all go crazy, and they had no idea what to do. They'd like communicate and get back together. But they could like eat through cardboard and eat through like the plastic in your cereal box. So you had to put anything that you didn't want them to eat through in the fridge, because otherwise they just eat through it. I mean, they were crazy. They ate through like tinfoil. I mean, there were some determined little ants. But yeah, they would just get everywhere. I'm trying to think if there were any like big kind of wildlife things. There wasn't anything like in Brazil, like jaguars or like lions or bears. I don't know, but yeah, there was like a lot of snakes and stuff like that. So it's fun.